can't imagine them thinking, okay, we get divorced first, then we sell and everything lines up.
If you're happy together and happy running it together, then it's a different story.
So they got 6 cupcakes each, is it?
Even whether you unionize, whether you got 𝗬𝗎𝗍 backing, whether you got secret ballot, everything, like all that just doesn't really matter. The response from 𝗬𝗎𝗍 is always the same, right?
Even if you want to sue someone, you can't sue anyone. And that is the messed up thing about corporate liquidations. The way it's structured is, it almost feels like it's a way for all these companies to get away with doing bullshit. I didn't know Lee Hsien Loong has a YouTube channel, but this was uploaded on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He has a humble 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But
give him a like. Give him a like, share, follow, subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Come on, he's new. Let's support this new creator.
He's a new content creator. Lee Hsien Loong. In social situations now, there's a lot more like when I ask people, what do you do? They say, I work for a family office. If 10 years ago someone said that, I'll be like, huh? What do you mean? You mean you're
Mama
family
shop
business?
or something.
Remember Words of Wisdom, our mission to capture 60 interviews with Singaporean seniors over 60 years old for 𝗪𝗲𝗂𝗍. Well, mission accomplished. We've recorded, edited, and launched all 60 interviews. These aren't just stories, they're national heirlooms. And they're live right now on Spotify and on the Words of Wisdom microsite. Links are in the description. But here's the twist. The response was so huge and we enjoyed doing it so much, we're not stopping. We're going beyond 60 for 𝗪𝗍𝗂𝗍 and doing 20 more interviews. So this is the absolute final call to nominate a senior you think is deserving to have his or her story told. Don't miss this final chance. The nomination link is in the description. Go, go, go! And now, onto the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 𝗂𝗲, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
You know what? It's Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
It's Happy Halloween.
Oh, darn it. We didn't dress up, huh?
Yeah, that's why. What would you have dressed up as?
This year, I think, maybe something K-pop Demon Hunters. Just in line with that whole theme. Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, you know, I haven't watched it, but I understand that the blue demon scars and all that. Kids these days love to paint, like blue paint on themselves.
Oh.
To show that they're not scared of showing the demon scars that they have and all that. Yeah, something like that. Something along those lines.
Oh, that's why this morning when I was walking my kid, I saw kids all dressed up, but it didn't look like they were dressed up as something because they had that kind of hand tattoos.
Oh, blue paint, is it? Like, it's like bright blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
At some point, you'll have to confront that as well. You should be lucky that it's no longer frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd be forced to wear, 𝗪𝗲𝗍𝗪.
Yeah. No, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters looks cool. It looks cool.
Right, and I would dress up as maybe as the original singers like EJ and all. They have this quite distinctive, wearing black and looking mysterious kind of vibe to them. So okay in that vein, we are both wearing black. So.
Yeah. What would I dress up as? Nothing stands out. Yeah. What were some of the bigger events this year also?
Pop culture events?
Yeah.
Elections.
But then we dressed up. We did Halloween in May already.
Yeah. Cultural events, I think K-pop Demon Hunters was
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Stranger Things is coming out soon.
Oh yeah, the trailer just dropped yesterday. But any breakout movie or TV show this year that everybody was talking about? No, right?
No. The summer blockbuster series wasn't as epic as years past.
I guess because movies are slowly coming back, but the movies that did well were F1. Dress up as F1 driver.
Yeah, whatever. It's kind of boring. Yeah.
But yeah, Happy Halloween if anybody's dressing up. I mean, I used to be more cynical about Halloween, but I actually think it's a damn fun thing. I wish more people celebrate Halloween in Singapore.
But you have to when you have a child these days.
Even without a child.
Even without a child.
I don't know whether 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 and all now would be pumping with people in costumes and all tonight. Probably right?
The Zouk Halloween party.
Yeah.
That was always damn fun.
Yeah.
I think in my heyday, I went a couple of times.
Yeah, I know.
And it's such a great excuse. If you wear a really cute costume, those couple of years when I dressed up as a Sesame Street character.
And I recall.
Everyone would be grabbing, oh my God, so cute, I want a photo. That kind of thing. So it's a good conversation starter. The rest is up to you after that, but the costume does 80% of the work.
I think one year I dressed up as the inflatable sumo.
Oh, yeah.
Which was damn fun. It was damn fun.
Yeah. Where do you go?
Clarke Quay.
Clarke Quay, but just walking around outside.
I think I went in.
Oh, you went in.
Then I deflate.
You had to deflate it. You can't fit through the crowd.
Because it has a fan inside.
Yeah.
So
correct.
as you deflate, it just squeezes out air, then you come out, it flaps up again.
Last year I did the deflatable Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, I wore the Tyrannosaurus for a party.
Oh.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex costume. Yeah, that was...
So then this month, this year, you dressing up also lah?
I don't know yet lah. I'll figure it out lah. Yeah,
But
because I think my kid is coming of the age where he really enjoys this process lah. So let him shine lah. I don't want to, if I dress up, it'll be like damn awesome lah. And then it will take away from his experience lah.
Oh, so you want to steal his thunder, is it?
Yeah. I don't want to. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, Zook, there is a Halloween party. I think.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at the table. You can book a cove table, dance floor table, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay lah. At least it's still happening.
Yeah. Correct.
Hip hop Halloween night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hip-hop.
nice.
Wow, perfect. That's the kind of music you want for Halloween.
Booed up a hip hop Halloween night. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
wow.
nice.
But yeah, other than that, also like interesting week, right? I think everyone's super glad for the media industry because now like 𝗏𝗏 has been acquired, very very big deal, right?
The 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Media
the parent company of 𝗏𝗏 has been acquired by another advertising agency.
Yeah.
Overall, good news for.
Is it good news for a media company?
I'm trying to keep a straight face of saying it.
But why not good news?
No. Okay, the thing about it, the last 6 months, we struggled to think of a movie that was caught everyone's attention. Why? Because everyone says cinema industry is dying. Everyone says MM2 or Cathay operations dying. Shutting down. Nothing but doom and gloom for media industry in the last 6 months, I would say.
Yeah.
So the news of an acquisition, a big one, the biggest in Southeast Asian media scene, in fact, surprising, and bodes that there's a future for media companies in the region. Yeah.
I mean, I have my own thoughts about 𝗏𝗏 content, but I think also the fact that acquisitions are not happening that often.
Yeah.
You hear about the economy like recession coming down, budgets tightening up. Now I think you don't even hear AI companies being acquired that often. So for a media company to be acquired, it is an achievement lah.
Yeah.
So I mean, kudos to them, kudos to the team. I don't know how that will change the content.
Yeah.
They're part of a global agency now. They are.
I was speculating with an ex-employee, right? Will it remove the shackles of
creative freedom?
Yeah, because now they don't have the pressures of keeping the lights on as a company and all that, right? I mean, they do but as a division of a much larger conglomerate, right?
Yeah.
So maybe will they be more free to do any kind of content they want? Even a bit more politically sensitive stuff and all that, because 𝗏𝗏 was silent through elections and stuff like that.
Right? They were,
Nobody heard anything or any kind of content about elections from them, whereas you heard a lot of other platforms coming up with things, right? So will that change, you think?
I don't think so. I think now...
Why so cynical?
Because the reality is, even they were existing as an independent company. Of course, they had external funding and they had stakeholders, shareholders and all. But now, the agency world, I would say there's even more shackles. There's even more shackles. So, I mean, I hope they can carry on doing what they were doing. But I don't know how that will continue.
Yeah, I don't think I think risk averseness, they probably become more risk averse, right?
Yeah.
As part of a larger organization.
Yeah, I believe the word is aversion, Terence.
Yeah.
Not risk averseness.
Yes, no, that's true.
Risk aversion.
Okay.
But yeah.
Sure, you can have that. Yeah, you have that. It's while other people are planning to buy GCBs or that.
I need to one up Terence.
One-upping each other.
One-upping.
While other people are buying GCBs now.
Yeah, that's why. But got some other not so positive news in the news as well.
We should jump right into it.
We can jump into it. And the first topic that is I guess fresh off the press.
Fresh from the bakery, man.
Fresh from the bakery that doesn't exist anymore as of October 29th, because 12 Cupcakes, which has been in the news multiple times over the past few years, more often than not for not the best reasons, announced its last day of operations yesterday, October 29th.
Yeah.
And apparently it came at a very last minute. And the staff were kind of screwed over. And about 80 workers have been affected. The union, which is the Food, Drink and Allied Workers Union, the FDAWU, said it was only informed of the conclusion of the closure on Wednesday, so the day before, on the same day as the company's announcements to its workers. So apparently the workers actually came to work and all in the morning, and they only found out at the end of the day. So, of course, people are shooketh. But before we dive into the details, what's your understanding or thoughts on 12 Cupcakes as a bakery?
It's been around forever, right? I think founded in 2011 by then radio DJ Daniel Ong and then wife Jamie Teo. I remember it was quite a big deal, right? Because they were both at that point quite celebrities who were very present everywhere, right? You see their faces all over. And then for them to found a F&B business with a very strong branding, right? Very, very clear and present branding. And it seemed quite innovative at that time, like very pretty cupcakes that people working in offices could buy for their colleagues. So people would buy 12 cupcakes at a go. But when you actually bite into them and eat them, I think generally I remember disappointment most of the time. And I maybe have tried one or two of the cupcakes and I was like, never again. Right. So that's for me, that's what I felt about it all these years. And just to see it plodding along over the years and the fact that they even still had outlets, multiple outlets around Singapore was always a surprise to me. But for you, what does 12 Cupcakes mean for you, man?
I mean, same thing. I think I've tried their cupcake once. I've seen it exchange hands a lot at housewarmings and lunches because I think it was one of the first bakeries in Singapore that really focused on packaging. And it became like an easy gift. Like you're going, hey, don't know what to buy. Okay, I just get 12 cupcakes. Then you get like 4 cupcakes, all very pretty, But same thing, I remember biting them. I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, it's sweet and all, but it's for the price and all that. Then it felt like it's all about the packaging rather than the cupcake itself.
And the whole period was when, I remember 2009, 2010 was when people started doing brunch in Singapore, right? Cafes first started.
Before that, not so much.
Before that, the idea of brunch wasn't a very big thing.
Because we were also students before that.
No, not about us. It's just about in general. The idea of brunch was I think the late 2000s thing. So the idea of very atas bakeries, pastries as gifts that you give to people for housewarming and stuff, that was still a very fresh new thing. So that was the context in which this bakery was founded.
I see. And I mean, it started off, I remember it was the hot new thing. Right. And they got sold to one of the biggest tea companies in Asia in 2016, which was 𝗀𝗟 Group.
And that was after their divorce.
The same year they got divorced, after they divorced.
I suppose it was part of the arrangement so that they could, they wouldn't have to run it together anymore.
But these kind of things, you think sometimes acquisitions and all quite hard to plan. Maybe they were just okay, this both could happen at the same time. And I can't imagine them thinking, okay, we get divorced first, then we sell and everything lines up.
Or maybe they look for someone to sell to. Or
maybe
actively go and find.
The year before, they were like, fuck this shit.
If you're happy together and happy running it together, then it's a different story.
So they got 6 cupcakes each, is it?
Fuck, that's the best line I've heard about this whole thing so far. Oh shit, man. No, that's better than anything I've seen on Reddit. Oh, fuck. Wow, not bad, Haresh on fire today.
Wow, I don't think you've ever laughed at a joke of mine.
Wow, that was funny, man. Oh, good shit, man.
We got sold in 2016, 2.5 million. And then a few years later, I think the start of the scandals was that in January 2021, they were fined $119,500 for underpaying 7 of its foreign employees. They were convicted the year before of 15 counts of underpaying the employees in 2017 and 2018. In March 2021, Jamie Teo herself was fined $65,000 for preventing the business from underpaying. For failing to prevent the business from underpaying its foreign workers. Same with Daniel Ong.
From 2013, right? So it's
from 2013.
From way before,
So, I mean, my recollection of 12 Cupcakes was that, the product is all in the packaging as opposed to the taste. They were local born and as a business, they grew. And then these scandals. So when I saw this news, I was like, oh shit. I mean, seems like it's in their track record of doing shit like this.
I was damn shocked that at one point Like apparently they unionized, right? The workers unionized under the FDAWA, the
union,
the Food Drinks Allied Workers Union, FDAWU, sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently the unionization was like done in secret.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Apparently
true.
like the union went around talking to employees of 12 Cupcakes at all the malls and secretly got them to vote for it in a secret ballot that was administered by the Ministry of Manpower to unionize. So I was like, holy shit, that sounds like some Ocean's 11 stuff. And like, 𝗬𝗏𝗯𝗵𝗶 as the Secretary General NTUC in 2021 even said, I applaud FDAWU for unionizing 12 Cupcakes.
But I didn't know that kind of stuff can happen.
I didn't know this kind of things happens where like the workers secretly unionize without the management being aware of it. Or not saying being aware, but maybe not without their full
But
blessings.
without being aware, what?
Yeah, I guess.
Because the ballot is done without them being aware.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like basically NTUC forcing unionization of the workers of 12 Cupcakes, right? Without the management's approval.
Which is nuts. It's like this abused child who goes and complains without the parents knowing.
Yeah. But so that's why with that context, then you see what they are doing now and not informing NTUC of what they plan to do with the liquidation. Is that does it sound like a revenge move to you?
Now I don't know, because the unionization happened in 2020 when? 2021. That's like 5 years, man.
5 years lah.
Yeah.
But it's like, you screw with us like that. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
I don't know, man. Like, apparently the Hong Kong outlets are still operational. It's just the Singapore outlet. So it feels like one of those matters where, okay, this tea company, they are huge.
Yeah.
So to them, it's just a line item. It's more like, okay, Singapore not working, okay, close.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them doing this out of vengeance.
Yeah. But that's where it's quite troubling that even with NTUC's direct intervention to, secretly unionize the workers of 12 Cupcakes and everything. At the end of the day, doesn't seem like they afforded any more protections than any other company that isn't unionized.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like, same thing lah. Company goes under. Sorry, everyone wait in line while the liquidator takes their time to do things lah.
And then be told that, it's unacceptable and unfair.
Yeah.
Tough words.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's the point?
Yeah. So that worries me lah, that all these multiple instances of layoffs, of liquidations, where the employees are not. We're not talking about partners like how we were with Hope, but employees themselves seem to be left in the lurch. There's even whether you unionize, whether you got NTUC backing, whether you got secret ballot, everything, like all that just doesn't really matter lah. The response from NTUC is always the same lah, right?
Yeah. So I mean, the outcome of that is that the FDAW General Secretary said that they have called the appointed liquidator to collaborate with the union on workers' claims.
Yeah.
But again, it is just more like fixing the problems faced by workers, but there's no way you can penalize the owner.
Yeah.
Which is like what we also faced when the company that liquidated in 2020 and screwed us over, right? The one thing we were told is that there is no entity to go after anymore. Even if you want to sue someone, you can't sue anyone. And that is the messed up thing about corporate liquidations. Like the way it's structured is, it almost feels like it's a way for all these companies to get away with doing bullshit.
Yeah. So do you see this as a structural issue, that there's not enough protections in place, that companies can just up and go just like that as well?
But I don't know whether any other country has solved this thing, because at the end of the day, like, who are you going to penalize? Like, this company is based in India. We can't even legally go after them.
Yeah. I don't know about
how
legally or what,
but the union can't go. It's cross international boundaries already.
But a lot of these issues of like the unions or NTUC not having the teeth to have any penalties enforced, or even mandate that legally you must do something before you can file for liquidation.
Yeah,
I think that's quite it's quite apparent that it's a problem, right? Where everything that the union does is just post statement about how upset they are, but there's no legal enforcement or anything that can be taken, even against an individual who was in charge of the business or anything like that at all, right?
Yeah.
And that's maybe the problem, that that there isn't any penalties or no one can be held accountable every time this kind of thing happens. And we've experienced it, and the vendors who were screwed by 𝗏𝗏 also experienced it. And a lot. We've seen it so many times. I'm almost numb to it, but every time I see it, I always feel this tinge of, oh God, it's such a shitty feeling for the vendors and the employees involved, right?
Yeah.
Always caught off guard. And then there's the same thing I always read from 𝗬𝐶, upset, we'll work closely with them to see what can be done and blah, blah, blah and all that.
Yeah, it's almost like, just picking up the pieces.
Yeah.
But when I just did a quick search, apparently in jurisdictions like the UK, EU and US, directors of companies can actually be made liable for reckless or irresponsible operations.
Yeah.
So if they found that the business was run irresponsibly leading up to the liquidation, they can go after the directors.
Yeah.
Which feels like, okay, even this company would have had some local directors, right?
Yeah. And even if they run away to another country or that, if there is legal implications,
Singaporeans, right?
Or not even Singaporeans, but if there are legal implications, if they ever come back here, there's still at least it's never come back, don't ever come back,
Yeah.
There's some consequence to the actions. But now the problem is that it just feels like there's no consequence for any companies that do this, or the directors of the companies that do this.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm also just checking: do all companies in Singapore need to have a Singaporean director? I think they do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, not to say, you only go after Singaporeans, but if you want to have some teeth, you need to be able to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Like, again, looking at our experience through that shitty-ass liquidation, all the senior management, or most of them, all failed upwards. Right? There was no penalties about any of them because it was just, it's a circumstance that we have to liquidate rather than something within our control.
Yeah.
Which is nonsense.
Yeah,
it's absolute
decision.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And holding people accountable actually sounds like a great thing. But Singapore, there's no legislation to do that.
Yeah.
And then it makes me think because I mean, Singapore, part of our value proposition is being as friendly to businesses as possible, right? Will this ever happen where, businesses come, if you act irresponsibly, we are going to go after you?
Yeah.
Is that a policy that might come? I don't know. Doesn't feel like it would.
Yeah. And then the one who always walks away with eggs on their faces is 𝗬𝐶 and 𝗬𝐶 𝗵𝗏, right?
Yeah.
They're always reacting to news, always caught off guard by the news. And, maybe it's not even his or 𝗬𝐶's fault. It's just the structure of how things are already, right? Where there isn't enough protections in place from companies to just do this. Yeah. And then, we can shit on 𝗬𝐶 or 𝗬𝐶 𝗵𝗏's job all we want.
Yeah.
But there's only that much they can do when the structure doesn't allow them to do much.
And there's no legislation or anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just checked. I think based on what I found, you don't need a local director. They can be a Singapore citizen, Singapore PR, or foreigner holding a valid employment pass, entree pass, or dependence pass.
Yeah.
But basically, they are in the system.
Yeah.
And they have some legal pass to stay in Singapore, which means they can still be held accountable. Doesn't matter if you're not Singaporean or not. But yeah, like the people for this, I'm sure if you look up their ACRA and all, you can find people responsible. But why aren't they held accountable at all?
Yeah.
That's very odd.
And that was a major point of frustration for us as well when we went through that whole liquidation process also, right?
Yeah.
So some of the things like that I was reading the articles about this causing PTSD was like, I think one employee was like saying that he literally just joined the organization in October. So he hasn't even been paid for any work that he's done at all.
Oh, shit.
And now, he 2 days from payday, they might not even see any money at all. Other things also, proof of debt. I think even employees now probably have to file proof of debt. And that's where the union seems to be coming to help them with these things.
What is a proof of debt, Terence?
It's essentially something that you have to file to the liquidator to just essentially inform them that you are owed money.
So official notarized document.
Yeah. So to just not only are you owed money, there's added insult on top of that you have to actually declare that you're owed money by the people, and maybe even spend time and money. In our case, we spend money to have to do it, right?
Yeah.
In foreign jurisdiction.
Yeah. And I mean, apparently, at the time of one article being written, there was a post on October 29 on their Instagram to urge customers to buy its 10 mini cookie bundle.
Yeah.
Also posted on an Instagram story on October 29, encouraging customers to purchase its Halloween cupcakes. Basket.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, very similar to our experience where, even right up to the liquidation that we experienced, there were talks about, okay, how do we do season 2 of our show and stuff like that.
The day before, we met them.
Yeah.
On Friday, we were working on the pitch decks.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then found out through a press release that they liquidated.
Yeah, so pretty shitty situation for everyone involved. And will you miss 12 Cupcakes? This is a big question.
Not really.
No, yeah.
Not really. Not at all, actually.
Yeah, it's not a business that... I enjoyed or patronized a lot. And then knowing how they also ran the business, even more so, I did not want to patronize it.
Yeah.
Now that it's gone, I don't miss it. But at the same time, it feels like they've almost gotten away too lightly with what they're doing, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Asia One article says that Jamie Teo and Daniel Ong have been contacted. I don't know what they're going to say. Yeah. They are not involved in the company anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, the culture of the company throughout just feels like shady.
Yeah.
Shady.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Tough situation. 𝗪𝗲 and I just saw something shocking. Now, apparently, over 60% of viewers of this channel are not even officially subscribed. This has to be a mistake, right? We know you're out there because so many have come up to tell us how much the podcast means to them. So, how can we fix this? Do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button. It will mean a lot to us, and it's awesome to know that the 𝗪𝗲 community is only getting stronger every day. Thanks for listening. Well, maybe if you want to feel a bit more optimistic about things in the future, it's worth, looking across beyond our borders. And that's what our ex-Prime Minister did as well, right? And where did he go and what did he say that got people riled up or excited?
So this is SM Lee Hsien Loong. He was on a working trip to the UK and was the guest at a Chatham House session on October 27th. So, I mean, how familiar are you with Chatham House?
Not familiar. I mean, I've heard Chatham House rules, that's all.
Yeah. So basically, Chatham House is, let's see, Chatham House.
It's a British think tank in London.
Yeah.
That provides independent analysis and hosts dialogues on global issues.
Yes. So it was formerly known as the Royal Institute of International Affairs. So it is most famously known for the Chatham House rules, which is basically kind of like a unofficial but fairly accepted rule where anything you discuss in a particular session that abides by Chatham House rules is kept confidential. That's why at the start of this session, they said, this is being live streamed. And because it's contrary to what they normally abide by.
So no Chatham House rules.
No Chatham House rules.
Yeah.
So this session, I mean, they quite often hold sessions. This session was featuring SM Lee. And the full talk is available online. It was about 1 hour, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
The transcript is available online also.
Yeah.
There were a few sound bites that came out specifically relating to Singapore and certain tensions between locals and foreigners. But I mean, you watched the whole speech also, the whole thing also, right? What was your impression of that?
I think SM Lee, he is really a good economist, right?
Yeah.
The way he speaks about global issues and all.
Yeah.
Quite riveting to listen to, even for an hour plus, I have to say. Yeah.
I was ready to be like, what are you talking about? But again, you listen, you're like, oh, because the first part he delivered his address, then he answered some questions from the moderator, and then he took questions from the audience. And I don't know about the moderator, but the questions from the audience were definitely not seeded because, he was writing down his own notes and all that.
Yeah.
And when asked about any measure of government or international politics or trade or the economy, you listen to his answers, you're like, he doesn't speak too academically.
Yeah.
But intellectual, but clear enough that you listen, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And
makes sense.
Very realpolitik vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Because he's literally the Prime Minister who oversaw a lot of the stuff that he's talking about, like the trade partnerships and all that. So it's very unlike listening to academics talk about something where, they talk about it, but they don't necessarily have impact or direct direct oversight of these partnerships or these relationships.
Yeah.
But you're hearing it from, the guy who was overseeing a lot of this himself.
Yeah.
So, there was just a lot of added weight to it. And the way he did it was almost like, there was this sense of like, so there's all these, this is the world that we live in, dark, stormy clouds, blah, blah. But, Singapore, we are part of these trade partnerships and we set up a lot of these trade partnerships and we welcome you to come and join us because we really want. So there was this vibe of like, there's a call to action.
Yeah.
It wasn't just talking and just intellectualizing global issues, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I felt like, wow, as an ambassador for Singapore trade, he's a good one.
I mean, just saying, I think the CFTPP or something, there were 12 countries. India was part of it. By the last minute, the Indians pulled out.
Yeah.
We hope India will come back and then you just move on to the next topic. So, I'm like, oh, okay, you listen, you're like, you can disagree with his policies and all, but as a statesman, pretty impressive.
Correct.
But there were a few things that went viral online. Most specifically, a couple of articles written about how he talks about the importance of national identity in multiracial Singapore and being quite upfront saying that, Singapore Chinese, Singapore Malays, Singapore Indians are different from China Chinese, Malays, Malaysia Malays, and Indian Indians, Indians.
Yeah.
And he went on to kind of say that even, you see a Chinese person on the street, if they're Singaporean, you should be able to tell.
Yeah.
And I was quite surprised by him being that, normally when you listen to politicians talk anything about race and all, it feels like they always veer towards being non-discriminatory, everyone is equal and all that. So for him to say that, I was like, wow, okay, that's a bit frank.
Yeah. But it did cross my mind, right? Because that is a true experience when we travel and then we see Singaporeans.
Yeah, you can
elsewhere.
tell. You can tell.
Immediately you can tell, you can hear, But I'm just thinking, if you're Lee Hsien Loong and you're walking around like in, I don't know, Tokyo on the streets of Japan or whatever, and then suddenly there's a Singaporean family there, like, does he really have that same experience that we do as lay people where nobody recognizes who he is and immediately, any Singaporean who sees him walking around will be like, holy shit, that's Lee Hsien Loong, right?
Yeah.
So would he have that same experience where, there'll be a double take, like, oh, they sound Singaporean, are they Singaporean?
No, he will see from far lah.
Wow, that means even further away he can tell.
Yeah, cannot be within their sight, cannot be within their
For me,
sight.
I still need to go a bit closer and hear how they talk to each other.
Or maybe like, I don't know, there might be some instance where he hears Singaporeans talking but they don't see him.
I see.
Yeah, like say in a restaurant, if he's in a private area or something, and then got a Singaporean just on the other side of the barrier.
Very, very unlikely though. Because I have bumped into Lee Hsien Loong and his family at a restaurant before.
You got bumped into him or you just saw him?
No, yeah. So let me finish now. Wow, you're so skeptical.
Bumped into you?
I bumped into his security detail and the MP5s they were carrying. Yeah, so it's really like they sit at the table and they're surrounded by security and they're all they're not eating, they're just sitting at the chairs, just looking around, staring at people, and it looks quite menacing. And I was like, why is this guy looking all over and just looking shady? Then I realized, I looked, further down, that looks like 𝗏𝗏. Oh, it is 𝗏𝗏. So I can't imagine him having any kind of normal Singaporean traveller experience walking around like that.
If he's in his, the transport car or something and he stops at a traffic light and he sees a Singaporean family, so not hearing them, he just sees them
in the giant motorcade that bring him around. Again, there's those. He cannot relate to that one.
But let's say if it's tinted windows, they don't know who is inside, and he sees them through the tinted windows, just buying ice cream or something in Malaysia.
He can tell that they're Singaporean. Just from the flavor they choose, is it durian ice cream must be Singaporean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
So I would say one thing about recognizing Singaporeans abroad is yes, the voice, the way they speak, but just there's something about them. Maybe the gait, the weight, the clothes. I don't know. Wouldn't you say there's something non-audio, just visual about Singaporeans?
Yes. The way we dress.
Yeah, there's something there.
Like Chinese, China Chinese, when I see them, and then Singaporean Chinese, even though maybe pop culture, there's a lot of overlaps, right? The stuff that we watch or listen to. But the way they dress is very, very vastly different.
Yeah. So, there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But he also talked about one aspect of, many I think there was one question asked about, non-discriminatory policies when it comes to immigration. He was quite upfront at saying that, certain people from certain countries bring along with them certain, ways of thinking, certain social norms, and you can't just be totally race blind or country blind when you come up with those sort of policies. And then he also talked about one aspect of how, when immigrants come, they should not flaunt their wealth or zoom their Ferraris or Lotuses at night to show that they have arrived.
Yeah.
So basically, if I quote, where did he say that? So he said, do not go around popping champagne, which is $20,000 a bottle with sparklers, and do not zoom your Ferrari or Lotus or whatever down the middle of the road in the middle of the night just to let everybody know that you've arrived. You would not have thought that was something you needed to tell anybody, but sometimes it's helpful to remind them. So with that statement, right? Yeah. How do you chance upon it? Do you see the articles? Do you see it on social media or not?
No, just the shorter snippets, because these are directly relevant to Singaporeans, right? And yeah, I mean, quite candidly, right? Saying something that even a previous guest on our podcast has said before. I think it was 𝗂𝗯𝗶𝗁𝗏 himself who said that, this culture of being showy or flaunting your wealth was not something that existed in Singapore before, prior to a lot of immigration coming in, right? And now, and not just immigrants, but even maybe younger generations of Singaporeans, there's this showy aspect, like you want to show your wealth by driving your Ferrari around. And it's true, anecdotally, I remember last time seeing a Ferrari was like, wow, a treat.
Like 𝗲𝗲𝗍𝗍𝗍 comment like that.
Like you would stop to gawk at it for a bit when crossing the road. But now it's like, you just pass by any hotel, there's usually like a Ferrari or multiple Ferraris parked outside.
Sometimes HDB car park also you see a Ferrari now.
Or Lambo, all these like supercars just everywhere, right? Yeah. So yeah, it is true. He is saying something that is echoed by other people of this generation.
But do you feel anything when you hear that, as a true blue Singaporean?
I was just like, interesting. How does he know that champagne now got $20,000 a bottle?
He observes lah.
I don't think I've ever gotten to that stage of people drinking $20,000 bottles of champagne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or table service, I suppose. But I guess that's normal. That's quite normal these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of...
when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this thing's why you really don't need to say it, but okay, you want to say it as a reminder. Okay, again, that's quite candid. But then, the more I thought about it, and comparing with what 𝗂𝗯𝗶𝗁 said, if I recall, 𝗂𝗯𝗶𝗁 said it in response to us asking him what worries him about Singapore, something along those lines. And he said the spirit of egalitarianism is being eroded. So that was talking about what worries him. This one, right, when you're talking about tensions with immigrants and all, when you hear other politicians talk about tensions, they tend to be more related to like crime or stuff like that. Whereas this one, it's almost his first thought is that problems between immigrants coming to Singapore, it is the rich immigrants who are causing problems. Which I found it a bit like, that's a bit odd. Why is it just jumping to that? Is it because it is a serious problem? But then on one hand, you hear that our Gini coefficient on paper is going down and that wealth inequality, which Lawrence Wong said himself, is decreasing. But then you have the Senior Minister Lee saying as the first example of tensions between foreign and locals being this sort of thing. So that's why I was like, actually that's a bit, why is that the first example? And it's almost like, it is a common thing that people are feeling, right? Whether justifiably or not, that, there's all these rich people coming to Singapore, buying up all this property and cars and all. So it feels like, the government is very aware of it.
Yeah.
And rather than changing policy and all, it's more like, okay, you just come, do what you want, just
go and
don't
hide your Ferrari.
Just hide, okay?
Hide it in the garage with 5 other supercars.
You come. Just, because people will get upset, The very sensitive people will get upset. You just do your thing. You do your thing. You want to be in scam syndicate, all okay, of course, I'm just speculating. There's no verified thing about the government knowing about that kind of shit. But the feeling is like, I see it. That's a bit odd, lah.
That's an interesting point. I think I read on Reddit recently, someone was saying, I think the mistake, everyone keeps saying, Singaporeans, we need to be open to immigrants. Yeah, Singaporeans are so close-minded to immigration and things like that. But someone was saying it's not that we are not open-minded to immigrants, it's what kind of immigrants are we getting here? Because you think about our forefathers' generation, the immigrants who came here, they were not here because Singapore was this rich paradise. Right? They came because there were job opportunities. They wanted to work. They wanted to build lives for themselves, build lives for their families, put food on the table.
Yeah.
Whereas now the immigrants coming in, yes, there's those people who want to work, but there's such a big group that essentially they're just parking money here, family officers, not here to work, but just to enjoy whatever benefits come with staying in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that one can analyze what benefits there are for them, but there are benefits, where there's a...
I mean, look, tax rate is pretty low.
Tax rate is pretty low. Family office,
no capital gains.
Yeah, you get a lot of benefits if you invest in businesses here and things like that. Yeah, so what are these immigrants like contributing other than just parking money here, right? Or is it just a stopover before they can get, Swiss citizenship or something, right?
Yeah.
And that's where that tension is, and that's where, I think you very rightly pointed out that pointing out that this is the tension with immigrants, or at least highlighting this as the biggest tension between immigrants and locals, tells you of, there is this problem or this perception that is the main problem, right?
Yeah, which was a bit odd. And it's not if you're speaking to a global audience. I didn't know Lee Hsien Loong has a YouTube channel, but this was uploaded on his YouTube channel. Yeah. He has a humble 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah. But give him a like, share, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Come on, he's new. Let's support this new creator.
This new content creator, Lee Hsien Loong.
He's his second win. He's trying something new. Yeah. Maybe he took a skills future course of content creation.
Life coach.
It just felt like then the image you get of Singapore also, it is really just it's a haven for the ultra rich which is not a good message to get out because it really is very attractive for the ultra rich, especially with other first world cities all going through issues, be it political, natural disasters and all. Then it just feels like, okay. Then the one thing is like, okay, come here, just don't flaunt. So it's not bringing back the spirit of egalitarianism, but just like wayang that we are an egalitarian society.
Wayang, But there was something that I think the woke salaryman guys, they were pointing out, right? Is it a bad thing that people who have money or even successful
want to
people
come here to flaunt,
want to come to Singapore, and they feel like it's safe for them to flaunt and just do their thing.
Yeah.
Is that necessarily a bad thing for Singapore, right?
Yeah, that's true because if you think about it, the $20,000 champagne is revenue to an F&B outlet that apparently is every F&B outlet is dying. If you get more people buy this 20,000 champagne, fucking great.
Yeah. But I always feel that this is actually, as much as we say that this is quite strange that this is the problem we face immigration, but I do feel like when you can see your neighbor spending $20,000 on champagne or driving a Ferrari around, it inevitably, no matter how enlightened or you are and all, it will breed some form of envy or even at some point resentment, right? And it's just natural when people are living close together in an environment. So I do think it is an important reminder not to flaunt your wealth if you have it also.
Yeah.
But again, like the 12 Cupcakes thing, is there something more structural that we should be thinking about in terms of inequality in Singapore, such that this is the problem that the senior minister is pointing out about immigration, right?
Yeah. And if you look back at the first story also, on paper, right, what is it? It's a company from India investing in a local business and just making a decision that's purely based on numbers, which as a business they are fair to do, but almost there's no concern for the people who are working there. And again, it's PTSD for us because what it felt like going through the process of liquidation of that company was we were just a line item.
Yeah.
And it just has this feeling of like, oh shit, Singapore is perfect for businesses who want to invest, but if they don't feel it, they just uproot and go because Singapore is a stop. And that's where it feels like, that's not good. That's not ideal.
Yeah. But do you feel that, obviously a lot of people online saying that he's so out of touch to be making this kind of statement, right? About that, like this is the big problem with immigration. But at the same time, compared to other things that other ministers have said, like 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has said about integration of Chinese people into Singapore and things like that, I think that those statements actually cause a lot of outrage as well, right? People saying, why is it we have to integrate? We have to change our ways to suit their norms as opposed to the other way around.
In fact, he's in some way doing opposite.
Yeah. In some ways, Lee Hsien Loong is saying here that you have to follow our norms. And if our norms are about not being showy and flashy or that, that's what you need to follow. And in some ways, isn't that the correct, or at least the more positive thing for a local person to hear? And you're just being nitpicky about this issue.
True. I mean, it's in some way, like what you pointed out, is scolding the people who are flaunting our norms as opposed to telling us that we have to change our norms to accommodate.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's like saying I slap you, Terence, but this morning I moisturized my hand. So the contact point is very smooth.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So it's softening the blow, but yeah, I think it's just taking at face value when reading it. I was like, oh, actually, that's interesting. But the more you think about it, the more you look at like comments online, it just strikes you like maybe there's more to it. There's more subtext.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do note is like in social situations now, there's a lot more like when I ask people, oh, what do you do? They say, I work for a family office. There's like a thing already. That's like if 10 years ago someone said that, I'll be like, huh? What do you mean? You mean your
Mama
family
shop
business?
Or something.
I was like, oh, family office. Okay, probably, managing millions of dollars. Immediately in my mind, I'm like, oh, big money. Like,
that's true.
Whereas last time, like, family business, huh? What? Yeah, like, mama shop. You need to clarify.
And people can understand the difference. Family business versus family office.
Correct. Yeah. Very nuanced difference. Just one word difference, but
everybody knows. Family
office means like, you're managing a lot of money, important, beyond our borders and everything. Family business, you're like, your parents, like the hawker store. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Family office.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sort of norms are changing also.
Yeah, changing, yeah. It's like it's a thing now just to say I work for a family office.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. But yeah, so I mean, it like the society is changing, but it's just how we going to stop it And I mean, there's this article also today that I saw some people sharing on dollars and cents.
Yeah.
The rise of Henrys. Have you heard of Henry? HENRY.
Something about early retirement. Right?
High earning, not rich yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Still working.
Why high earners still don't feel rich in Singapore? And then they got like, paragraphs like a couple earning 20,000 a month may be viewed as well off, yet servicing a hefty mortgage or for an aspirational but expensive condo or landed home can consume a large chunk of monthly take-home pay, especially once you factor in money for a car. So it's almost painting like these are the struggles of the Henrys. That's why they are not rich yet. They're just high earning.
Yeah.
Well, like, but it's your choice to get that condo or thing and all. So stop painting it like it's a struggle. Yes, I mean, you want to do that, sure, but yeah, I read this. I was like, wait, are these people coming across as like victims?
So, I mean, this question I do want to ask, right? Like, would you prefer if, like the ultra rich in Singapore, they don't flaunt their wealth here, but they rather that they go to JB, other places to flaunt, right? Yeah, whether it's JB or like, Monaco, Switzerland, whatever. Because in Monaco, Switzerland, it's well known that, there's a lot of rich people
Switzerland, so I thought Switzerland is frowned upon. Or that's more in the Nordic countries.
Yeah, maybe. But okay, Monaco, for example, is known, as a rich person's haven, right? Would you prefer that they just do their stuff outside of Singapore and just in Singapore you sort of lead a more, a more muted kind of lifestyle?
I don't like the idea of that also, because then it's like, and what else are we muting about people's right to self-expression and all that? But maybe it's just the quantum of it, or like how it's almost like an aspirational thing as opposed to like, I mean, what I also remember last time was like, oh shit, that person, they understand how that might rub people the wrong way and yet they're doing it. Whereas now it's like, it's admired, it's envied, and it's almost like put up on a pedestal.
The hustle culture and everything.
Or like just the flaunting of the wealth. So, social media. For you, like, would you prefer something like that?
I do feel, okay, like, I guess it adds diversity to the landscape in Singapore. But yeah, I do worry about, how people view it or feel about it. And there's all these perceptions about, you stay in this area means you are certain SES, you stay in this area, you drive car, wow, you are how many percent. Those are the first things that come to people's minds in conversations now, which I think 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't so like that. But now it's like, it's literally that, if you afford a car means that, you paid 120,000 for COE. It's just out there already, right? So it just draws these lines between groups of people, and I worry about that.
But and I mean it causes unnecessary division also because like you said, like that car thing, right? The reality is, like, if you get a second-hand car, there's no COE. But the moment you're a car owner, there's that idea, or like the moment if you live, like what you say, a certain area, you're a certain SES, which might not be true.
Yeah, might not be true.
But because there is so much emphasis on wealth and defining people by their material success, it's just not healthy. But yeah, I mean, people should just watch the speech for themselves and judge it. Of course, if you just watch that snippet, it might paint it one way, but just watch the whole thing. They don't speak quite fast, so you can speed up the speed of watching also.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's a good point, that context is important also.
Yeah.
He was talking in response to a question about internal and external pressures due to immigration and things like that, right?
And I mean, a lot of things that I don't think many people would disagree with him. You do get other political parties, like the PSP put out a Facebook post urging the government to implement deeper policy reforms to reduce inequality, which, I mean, okay, like I would prefer they stay giving their comments even though they're not in parliament. And in the lead up to like the next election, I hope the momentum for them also doesn't stop. I saw some people on Reddit say, it's painful to watch them stay relevant, but I'm like, no, just keep posting, keep sharing your opinions.
In fact, no, I think right now on social media, I think PSP is doing a lot more, right?
Doing a lot more
to change the image as like what we labeled as a country club executive committee image. Then Leong Man Wai himself came up to me and said, thank you for the feedback. So,
but yeah, cool, man.
Cool. All right. What is your one Shiok comment of the last few days?
I mean, my one Shiok comment, I mean, we released the episode with Minister Shanmugam on Wednesday. I mean, there's a lot of comments on Reddit, on YouTube, and Spotify, across the board. But I mean, just something that I thought was a nice thing was something from Capital Owl 1318 on Reddit. So Min Shan came back, in brackets, in partnership with government notwithstanding. We know that no one can make Shan do anything he doesn't want to do. Really speaks to the good work that HNT and the team are doing. Well done. And I mean, I know some people said, your episode starts off with in partnership with the Ministry of Home Affairs and all. I mean, we don't want to hide these kind of things, right? We never want to be like, okay, we are trying to make you think this is organic when it's actually not, it's commission. And that just means that they approached us, they wanted to talk about certain things. We said we will talk about it in our way. And we try our best to make sure there is that conversational integrity. So if people just judge it based on the first part without giving it a chance, I hope that doesn't happen. So when people can appreciate that, this is sponsored, but it still felt like a good conversation, I'm just happy about that.
Yeah.
So that's my one Shiok comment.
Same on Reddit as well. I think Mamba Mentality talked about how 20 minutes in, Harish brings up the Su Hygiene incident and compares it in some sense to a Nordiros incident. This podcast is on another level, man. I wouldn't be able to bring that up to Shan. Maybe that is something more podcasts should do. And then someone responded, it speaks more about the atmosphere of fear around valid criticism than anything else. It is sad, in my opinion. And then Mamba replies, actually I had that in my comment, but I didn't want to glaze Harish too much. But I think that's something I thought about, that, it's at the end of the day, our podcast is here because we want to be able to speak to people about touchy topics, right? Topics, but not do it in a way where they feel cornered, like, it's a parliamentary debate or anything like that. But also to hear their perspectives on it, but also not entirely just take everything as a given, that what they say is correct, right? So we can ask questions, and we can ask questions in a respectful way that they don't corner people, right?
Yeah.
And so I also do give props to Minister Shanmugam for coming on and being open to answering a lot of the questions we had also.
Yeah.
I don't think he shied away from those questions, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like, to anyone listening, we will always make sure that the conversation stays as raw as possible. And even this does involve discussions and us pushing back on things and comments. Because we know that we have built up a lot of trust, and we will always make sure that every conversation we have is in a way that we would do it even if it wasn't commissioned.
Yeah. A lot of discussions even between ourselves all goes on behind the scenes, right? To make sure that we try to keep that level of openness and transparency.
Yeah. Cool. And what is your One Shiok Thing?
Just in time for Halloween, I guess. Sorry. Because it's Halloween, I managed to convince my wife to actually watch a horror movie together. So we actually watched 28 Years Later on Netflix. 28 Years Later, which is the third movie in the whole 28 Days Later series.
That came out in cinemas recently, is it?
About a few months ago, yeah. So there was 28 days, 28 months, and now 28 years later. And so the interesting thing was entirely shot on the iPhone. I believe it was entirely shot. So the image kind of looks different from what you expect from a typical movie, but very in line with Danny Boyle, the director, very in line with the 28 Days Later series. And I felt like the story was something different from all the other zombie films that I've watched before. Yeah. So I would say it's definitely worth a watch if you have a Netflix subscription.
But they won't consider a horror movie. Yeah. It's a zombie movie, right?
Zombie is horror.
Horror is paranormal, right?
Since when was that definition? Zombie also is horror. Zombie is considered horror. Is that zombie horror, Tristan? Are zombie movies considered horror? Yeah, he just gave us the emphatic Gen Z nod. Yeah. So it's like, yes, it is horror.
Oh, it's considered horror. Because I hate horror movies, but the paranormal kind. I like zombie movies.
Okay, you don't like paranormal, yeah. But it's not all horror movies. Like that. This is considered horror. It's like Get Out. Do you consider that horror?
Psychological thriller.
Okay. Some people say it's horror.
Yeah. Is it? But your wife enjoyed it.
Okay, because it's actually I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a very interesting story between a young boy and his family. So it's
cool. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now, and I wanted to catch it in cinemas, didn't have a chance to, but it's now that. So, what is your One Shiok Thing?
My One Shiok Thing is this video I saw on the CNBC YouTube channel called How Shopping Malls Are Being Transformed into Apartments in the US. And this is something I had read about previously. But this mall, right, they examined this one arcade mall in Providence, Rhode Island. So it's one of those old school malls that looks like something out of Stranger Things or something. Yeah. The shops on one end, then the space in the middle, kind of like Marina Bay Sands. Like you have shops on the either and a big open space that cuts across all the floors. And as of a few years ago, they converted it into a mixed use. So the first floor is all shops, but all the shops on the second, third, fourth floor are mini apartments of 200 square feet.
Oh, nice.
And like this one, they interviewed some of the people living there, and a lot of them, they love it because they said cost-wise, it makes so much sense. Yeah. It's not the biggest apartment, but you imagine Marina Bay Sands, you come out, there is like a common pathway with a glass that overlooks the open space, and they say they love it because it's cheaper than the other options. Yeah. There's a very tight community in the mall. If the weather goes to shit, they can just stay in the mall. And you look at it like, hey, actually that's quite interesting. Of course, they have to deal with certain restrictions like no open flames and all. And I don't know what the restroom situation is. I don't think every apartment has a restroom, which can be tricky. But it just felt like, hey, that's quite fun. Like, I'm sure everyone has thought about, what would it be like to have a sleepover in a mall? And these people are doing it. So it's quite cool. And
it's abandoned malls, is it? Or?
It was like declining malls.
Oh, declining.
Yeah, okay. But of course there is the cost benefit of like how much it costs to revamp a mall into a livable space. But in the US, because it's not like a more compact city like Singapore, where you have, like a lot of like long road and one mall in the middle of nowhere. And normally when that mall is functioning, you have a lot of things that pop up around. So when the mall dies, everything else dies. Yeah. So this one, by turning it into a place where people actually live, it keeps the fringe things alive, and they have no issues with space, right? So a lot of these malls, they have huge car parks. and they convert the car park into like facilities or other things. So it becomes like a very small kampong like that.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. And like, you're just living in the mall.
Very iconic, right? The US suburban mall.
Yeah.
Like what was it? You get what you give music video.
Oh, yeah. All that. So you look at the architecture.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call this architecture, but it's like that, the street lamps on New York City?
Yeah.
Where the black lamps and all. So inside it actually looks very beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, man.
Cool.
Awesome. So that's our Halloween episode. Not very Halloween about it. Nothing much Halloween about it.
So yeah, happy Halloween, folks.
Happy Halloween. And if you enjoyed the podcast, it would be great if you could share it with at least one other person. Follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Telegram. And we also have a weekly newsletter called Your Little Bit that consolidates all our One Shiok Things. You can sign up for it at 𝗪𝗲𝗏.com.
Yeah. And if you want to work with us, please email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Or even just go to ministryoffunny.com and there's a contact us page there.
Sweet. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll talk to you all soon.